All right, so we're live on Facebook. Good morning, everyone. We are excited that we're being joined by Troy Dunston this morning. He's going to be sharing with us, and I'll be looking down occasionally so that I can launch this on other platforms as well. But we're excited that Mr. Troy is here joining us, and he has a fantastic story to share with us. Troy has participated in the 100 Men reading way back when, and the 500 Men reading as we grew. And we're so glad that you have been an avid supporter, reader of the program. And you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself? I know you're from Philly, and so are you an Eagles fan?
Well, I guess these days it's probably not good to admit that, but I mean, I am a lifelong Philadelphia sports fan. And Floyd, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for all that you have done. Really to cultivate the love of reading, for people. And just really quickly about myself, as Floyd said, I was born and raised in Philadelphia. I'm a proud U.S. veteran. I was in the Army. I actually work for state government. I've been doing so for about 30 years now. And my wife, Carmen, and I, we love to volunteer, and we get involved in various outreach efforts around the city and beyond. And I just love reading. And I'm glad to be here and to be able to share a wonderful book with you today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. So are we ready to roll?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. So the book that I'm
ready.
going to be reading is called The Sloth and the Parrot. And it's the author is Teresa Bass. So we'll jump right in. Once upon a time, there was a sloth and a parrot that lived in the same area of the woods. One day, a situation between the two of them occurred. Fortunately for the parrot, the howler monkey intervened. Peter the parrot had just performed a good deed, which was about to be sabotaged by the sloth. Now, Sammy the sloth was slow-moving, sluggish, and wasn't as smart as he thought he was. However, he knew after eating all the leaves from the tree he was feeding on that sooner or later he would have to return to the forest floor in order to move on to the next tree. The forest floor was a very dangerous place to be, especially for a slow-moving and slow-thinking animal such as he. Now, the parrot, on the other hand, was full of wisdom and speed. He could go pretty much anywhere he pleased. To the top of the trees or to the forest floor, he was zoomed. With speed through many corridors, his alertness always kept him ahead of his foes. The parrot was also very friendly and did not mind going the extra mile to help his friends in the forest. And as you can see, he's being very helpful here by providing them with water to drink. Okay. One day there was a drought in the forest. It hadn't rained in a very long time, but the parrot knew where to get some water, and it was only about a mile away. So Peter decided to fetch some water and place it in a certain area he thought was easily accessible for the other animals to enjoy. Sammy did not like the location where Peter placed the water. In fact, he didn't even appreciate the fact that the parrot, out of kindness, made sure that everyone could have water to drink. Instead, the sloth appeared to be miserable. Although it was not the parrot's fault, the sloth did not care. Anyhow, the sloth decided to cause trouble for the parrot. The sloth asked, "Why did you place the water on that spot? If I had an opportunity to get some water for us, I would have placed the water over there." The parrot got upset. He allowed the good-for-nothing sloth to bring him out of character and get him angry. All the other animals in the woods knew why Sammy was miserable, and it was by his own doing that he was stuck up in the tree. Again, you see the animals, they are getting the water that the parrot decided to be kind and bring to them. And as you can see, Sammy is nowhere to be found. He's up in the tree making trouble. On his way up the tree, the sloth ate not only the leaves, but the small branches, and that's a no-no. It was these small branches that enabled him to climb up the tree in the first place. The sloth greedily ate everything in sight on his way up the tree. Sometime later, the sloth reached the top of the tree. With nothing left to feed on, he glanced downward, and suddenly he realized that his mouth had gotten him into trouble once again. The sloth had been in this situation before, so he knew that in about 30 days, he would be out of this predicament. It takes this long for new branches to grow long enough and strong enough to support his weight. The hook-like hands the sloth has needs these branches to climb down. So as you can see, Sammy is climbing up the tree and he's causing trouble for Peter. Now you can see it really wasn't the location that the parrot had placed the water in that got the sloth upset. It was because the sloth was really mad at himself after that he had decided to shift his anger toward the parrot. The parrot proved that he was smart by placing the water where the other animals could reach it. Nevertheless, the wisdom of the parrot could not help him now because the parrot was upset, hopping and hollering and running back and forth across the forest floor. At the same time, danger was closing in on the parrot, but he was too upset to see it. He was too busy arguing with the sloth over where he'd put the water. What he didn't realize was stealthily approaching, the king of this jungle, the jaguar, was just about to pounce on the parrot. So as you can see, Peter and Sammy are arguing back and forth, and unbeknownst to Peter, something is coming. All of a sudden, a howler monkey stood up and shouted, "Hey, fool, look out! Yes, I'm talking to you, Peter the parrot. You're the one filled with wisdom and can soar wherever you please. Yes, you, the one performing the good deed. You allowed an idiot such as Sammy the sloth to almost get you eaten just because you placed the water where you did. None of the rest of the animals in the jungle are complaining about where you had placed the water. Only the sloth is complaining, and that's because he's the nut stuck up in the tree. That buffoon is angry because he knows that he will be there for about 30 days due to the carelessness of his mouth. He ate not only the leaves, but also the small branches, which permitted him to climb up into the tree in the first place. Now, after reaching the top with no other place to go, he looks down and sees the trouble he has created for himself. So as you can see, the howler monkey is trying to warn the parrot, and just in time, he gets away from that mean jaguar who wants to get a nice quick meal. All right. Since the howler monkey sounded the alarm, the parrot was able to escape the jaws of the jaguar, although he did lose a few feathers during the jaguar's attempt to eat him. The argument over the placement of the water had ended. The sloth realized the severity of his actions and immediately apologized to the parrot. Peter located an empty coconut shell, dipped it into the water, then flew it up to Sammy, and all was forgiven. So life in the jungle goes on. So as you can see, even though they were arguing, Peter decided to go ahead and help Sammy out since he couldn't come down to get water. So, what's the moral of the story? The howler monkey actually said it very well. He concluded with a word to the wise. He said, "Look, there are always going to be frustrated folks somewhere in this world. Nonetheless, it's up to you and to me to maintain our wits after being confronted by someone with evil intentions. For it is written, be wise as to what is good, but innocent as to what is evil." And that's the story of Peter the parrot and Sammy the sloth. And as you can see, they're now friends.
Wow.
The end.
That's such a beautiful story. That's and such an important message, especially in this day and time. You know, where there's all kinds of things going on that are different and weird and stressful, that we stay within our wits. And no, thank you for that. That's very timely.
Yeah. Thank you, Floyd. And thank you all for your time and your attention. And I hope that story was, helpful to you and beneficial to you. And kids, just remember, sometimes you're going to get angry, you may get upset, but, sometimes just take a breath, maybe count to 10, whatever you need to do, and just step away and calm down and then come back again. And then hopefully things will be a whole lot better.
Yes.
Wonderful.
I think Madison has something.
Okay.
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Troy. The moral of the story was, like my dad and you said, is very timely. And I think that the parrot being helpful, even though the sloth was rude, really is a great story for young ones to really help others, even though they might be mean to you. And you can learn something great from that story. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Madison. Those are great points. You're absolutely right.
So Madison's camera is not working this morning for some reason, and that's okay. So that's why you're hearing her and not seeing her.
Yeah. Well, we did get her words, which were important. So yes.
Yes.
And you're right, Madison. Also, I just wanted to say, sometimes people will do things or say things to us that we may not think is right or fair, but we don't have to respond in kind to them. We can, as they say, take the high road, and we can just, hopefully, diffuse the situation, kind of calm things down by being calm. If you have two people like the parrot and the sloth that are arguing, then nothing's getting accomplished. And then worse, there could be a threat coming, like the jaguar, that you're not even paying attention to because you're so focused on your anger.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it's really good to be calm. Yes, sir.
Good. And Mr. Troy, what did you go to college for and get your degree in?
I attended Howard University and studied international business and marketing. Now,
Okay.
of course, I'm not doing any of that. I had a dream that I would be doing international business, maybe traveling to Japan and handling mergers and things like that. But I didn't. I'm not doing that. But I believe that I'm where I need to be. Like I said,
I know that you are. You talked a little bit about all the involvement that you and your wife are doing in the community, and we greatly appreciate that. The important part is that we set goals, right?
Yeah.
And try to achieve them, and just keep moving and be adaptable to life, right?
That's
so
right.
Thank you. And I know you're an avid reader, and I know you believe in the importance of reading too by participating in this and other things as well.
Absolutely. And as you said, Floyd, like you, I try to give back and definitely try to encourage young people wherever I am or whatever situation, when the situation presents itself. And I do want to encourage each of you out there to cultivate a love of reading, because when you're reading, not only is it helping to develop your mind and you get to see a different view of the world, but also it can take you away to different places. Sometimes in your reading, you may discover something that you want to do later in life. You never know what reading will do. Reading is I look at it as like a roadmap, a journey to life. And so I would encourage each and every one of you, not just the young kids, but the older kids as well out there to really develop, if you haven't already, a joy of reading.
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Troy. We look forward to having you back.
Yes.
So much. And we want to have everybody have a great Saturday. This is a fantastic way to start your day with Storytime with Mr. Troy. So thank you, and you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Remember that we are reading every single day at 11 o'clock for the next year, 365, reading 365 days. So thank you all for joining us. Have a great day.
Thank you, Floyd. Everybody stay healthy and safe.